Welcome back, attractive and well-educated watchers, to a brand new episode of The Frontier. We're doing a little mini session today, just Iseth, and feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm playing Olek, the crazy goblinoid and volunteer party menace, now enhanced with Weak, Fat, and Squirrel.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. So we have a bit of block text. This is after the volcanoing. After the quenching of the volcano and the defeat of the hobgoblin army sent by the Lady in Grey, there are many hobgoblins, goblins, and even some bugbears that have been locked in the prisons of Tiantong, while the Turncloaks are taken in by the Verdan and cherished as victims of abuse and lies by the Chaos. With more than one Goron archer to each of them, even when outside of their cells, the prisoners of war at least behave themselves, even if some sneer at the Verdan and Harengon of the canyon and merely ignore the others. While the rest of the canyon minds the other refugees and newly arrived races that have been summoned to defend it, the Verdan are left to wonder what to do with their own, the goblinoids that have been left to face Verdan justice. We are in Grown Verdan, presumably somewhere. Don't know exactly where.
Let's see. So the first thing, obviously, Grown Verdan, yeah. The first thing that they would have probably dealt with was the fact that they had to put them somewhere.
Yeah.
And with all those plants, basically, it was like, set something up, quick few tents. They now obviously had spare tents.
And drop the ones that you can into the prisons of Tiantong until we're ready for them.
Yeah, exactly. And so, piece by piece, basically, the first thing that Olek would do, he would be accompanied by his trusted friend, Babushka.
Babushka, yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Because Babushka and Olek have a plan. In fact, they had a plan since the whole mess with the chaos started. Long before the goblins were found.
As we've determined, the Verdan and Blathamili, they are ahead of the game on this chaos stuff. They knew what to do. They've been planning the entire fucking time. Nobody's believed Olek except his people. And his people, they were ready.
Yeah, only one got injured, right?
Only one got injured, nobody died.
Yeah. Which one was the injured one? That was not...
Just some guy.
Yeah.
No mourners, no funerals, baby.
Yeah. Badass.
Yup. So, yeah. And of course, NRL has said that the prisons of Tiantong are open to you if you need to store them somewhere and don't have, camp space.
Yeah, accompanied by Babushka, he goes in, and prisoner after prisoner, he listens, he looks what they're doing, he listens to what they're saying, he checks on their reaction, how willing they are to even talk to him, and figure out what's going on.
The POWs, by and large, are quite indifferent to this whole situation. Their loyalties haven't changed at all, but they are behaving themselves. They're not going to throw themselves to their deaths, because that would not be useful, but Olek very, very quickly realizes that by and large the lion's share of the POWs are pretty much just there and behaving themselves so they're not put to death, because they know that's what they do to misbehaving prisoners of war.
Are there any exceptions?
Roll a... Just gonna do a quick insight. Roll us an insight with advantage, because they're goblinoids and pretty sure you've got them figured out.
Oh man, full on failure.
Rough. Nah, you ain't seen anybody who's willing to snitch, that's for sure. All of them are pretty focused on it. They would be fighting if they had weapons and were on the field in a reasonable scenario, but it ended up that their force ended up being far outnumbered because of the Goran and Leshies and so forth. So they were easily overrun once their hardpoints were broken by you and the main party. So yeah, they made a mistake, but they still think they're in the right.
I'm going to point out to them that the person they served will soon be no more. And as time passes on, the rations are going to get decreased until there's nothing left. And they have to decide what they want to do.
A lot of them just don't even believe that first statement, that the person they obey is soon not going to be anymore. They think they're going to win.
And then what? Coming over, they have failed. So it's not like that person will really care about them, if they would even be right.
There will be more. We are all servants to the Lady in Grey. You are merely experiments that got out of the workshop before they were supposed to.
A handful of experiment can stop an entire army of those chosen warriors. What a joke.
You were the next model, after all.
So you're agreeing that we're superior?
That was the plan, but you weren't done. So, are you? Difficult to say. You caught us off guard with superior numbers. I don't know where all those thousands of soldiers that you created came from, but there will be more of my kind. And then you, the not failed experiments, will be brought back to the Lady in Grey, and she will finish her work, and then you will be superior.
I'm gonna stick with the plan. They get less and less food.
Oh man. So you're just gonna be like, alright, half the rations. Oh man. The funny thing is that Grunforden has so much food. So
yeah. Well, not only that, but I would also make sure that the turnovers would, occasionally pass by and eat super juicy stuff while talking to Olek or some of the other Verdants as they pass by.
Nice.
Making sure they're supposed to ignore the people in the caves.
We would say roll, this is a long-term plan, so this is kind of just a start buoy to it. We're gonna say roll a deception.
Alright.
You're not really like lying to them or anything, but you are being underhanded about it.
Yeah.
Alright.
22.
Right. Okay. We're not gonna roll anything now because we're gonna keep that for later and apply that in the brief time skip that's gonna happen after this, but it's good to know. Yeah. So your plan is going to go into effect. Is there anything else Olek wants to do?
Well, they're all incapacitated, right? Like they're all in prison.
Yeah, the POWs are in the prison cells when they're not being personally handled.
Babushka would take a hair of every single one of them.
All right, okay.
Not even hurt them, just little scissor or little clutch of hair. There you go. Just take it with her.
Upon being signed into the prison and logged in the system, you have to get a lock of your hair cut.
Yep.
Okay. All right. or something of that nature. Probably a fingernail would do if you don't have hair.
Yeah, Babushka is not very restricted in those regards.
Right. Alright, sure. Alright, what else? You said you had like a big, like, thing that you plan on doing here, and you explained some of it.
Olek has planned to take all of these hairs and make wax figurines out of them.
Yeah, the little babushka dolls or whatever, right?
And as they are resistant, he's gonna tweak the dolls.
Okay. And then,
because it's a chant, it's a enchantment a bit, right?
He's gonna voodoo doll them.
Just a bit, yeah.
He's gonna voodoo doll them, force them to be better people.
Pretty much.
Now, where are you gonna get the wax?
I think Olek had put quite a bit aside from the former stuff. I don't know if that's enough.
There's a lot of wax dolls you're gonna have to make in here. 100.
Yeah, I guess. Let me see.
We'll assume each wax doll is a pound. Just a pound,
What? Okay.
Well, let's just say, for the sake of a hypothesis here, that's like 457 pounds of wax you're going to be needing.
Yeah, I'm not having even remotely enough.
Yeah.
But I do have a small cask of wax just on the ready.
How much does it weigh?
That's each, I think, 5 pounds.
Okay.
So it's a 5 pounds, so that's $5 that you can already make.
Cool.
So he's gonna take the weakest, or the ones that look the least, proud and defiant, the ones that look kind of more afraid, more hesitant. He's gonna take their wax. And then I have $5 of 20 candles, which is each 1 pound. So that would be another 5 pounds. That would be 10 pounds of dolls. So $10.
We're like how you're like working this out. You're like, all right. So my penal rehabilitation program idea is voodoo doll oriented.
The thing is, if you see people from your own group slightly caving and slightly, from the inside starting to share and spread the ideas, that has much more effect than some leader in there being like, now you have to believe what I tell you to believe.
We think it's also funny that you're actively lowering their will scores by depriving them of food and sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And this would obviously be something where, like, you have to have a stronger force of personality than the voodoo doll. Like,
yeah.
Oh man. And Babushka has a whole bunch. She has like how many new apprentices or whatever? Like 4 or 6 or something.
Yeah, quite a few.
So they could be manning these silly little wax dolls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we like where this is going a lot.
So yeah, he would make sure he picks not necessarily the weaker ones, but the ones that seem most intimidated or most skeptical about everything, and those he would turn into voodoo dolls.
Oh dear. Okay. So he's just got a whole voodoo rehabilitation system.
Yeah, no, he would regularly go there and then reduce the nourishment and see if one of them turns and says like, you're totally right, that was stupid, let me come with you and stuff like that.
Right.
And all he would use the voodoo doll for, because he doesn't want them to, basically get bewitched to tell something they don't want to tell. But what he would do is sow doubt through the voodoo dolls.
Nice. So, what do you do about the Gron? The 5 to 6 foot humanoid plant people with flower faces. These people have no direction, for they were made for one purpose, to defend the canyon, and now that the canyon has been defended, they don't know what to do with themselves.
Well, you see, the Verdan have developed, because they have had a few issues with chaos addiction, so they have developed a whole plan of what is allowed and what is not allowed, and what they can do and what not. Obviously, anyone who lives in Grönvärlden has to abide by the rules of the Verdan. But there is a whole, setup, For example, if you are ever caught as a chaos addict, right? If you are addicted to chaos, if you're in denial, you're not even allowed into the camp, obviously. But if you are acknowledging that you're an addict, you have to give a bit of hair or a bit of nail to Babushka, right?
Admit you have a problem.
Yeah. If you admit you have a problem with chaos, or in the case of the captured people, the ones who have the turnovers, they basically are counted as, being possessed by the chaos, right? So they have to give a bit of hair to Babushka too, Right. And then Babushka creates, a little puppet for them that has to absorb the chaos from them to make them pure again and to make them join society again. Obviously, that also allows her to, keep an eye on them, but yeah. And so that's step one. It's like, acknowledge that you have a problem and let Babushka help you.
This is fantastic.
Step two, which is basically what you do then, is you have to detox, obviously. You have to show your people and yourself that your own will, that the Verdan have this big issue with will. Obviously, they excuse the fact that they're magical away with the fact that no, we just have a very strong will. We will stuff into existence. We will stuff flying around and stuff like that. So
that's the psychics.
Yeah, the will, the blade of the will. Either way, so they have to prove that their own will can defeat the chaos that's within them, right? Those people.
As you do.
As you do. And so they have to, through hard work and rigid self-discipline and dedication to their people, which, their future people and their future family, right? As in, take care of your group, take care of your own people, work to make everyone be fine in your group, among your people,
right.
Be part of the society, basically. They have to do that, and overcome the chaos and stand before the elders after a certain time. There is a yearly celebration where they can go to the elders and say, hey, look, all of that stuff that I have done, do you see how much I have already strengthened my will and want to be part again of my people? And so the elders, they have to decide, okay, did this guy or whatever, did this addicted show that the chaos is no longer among him, or did this person decide no, there's still chaos in there, or is just lazy, whatever. So there's still chaos, right? It's not like someone is lazy. It doesn't exist. No, it's clearly the chaos making this.
We like the idea of there being like Arcanists Anonymous classes or like groups or whatever, where like a hobgoblin rolls in and he's like, "Hi, I'm Grog," and the whole group's like, "Hi, Grog," and he's like, "And I'm a chaos addict," and they're like, "We accept you, Grog."
Yeah, pretty much. That's what's going on there.
You're safe here. This is a safe place, Grog.
Yeah, it's a safe space. We all work together to, get back to become back members of our people.
We love that so much.
And step 3, that's where the dwarves are, and that's also where the new plants are. What are they called again? The Goran. The Goran and also the dwarves that came. All of them are basically at the level of the youngsters. So they are considered young Verdans. Right.
Societally children still.
Yeah.
Oh,
children of the society, yeah.
Okay, we follow it. Keep going on that. Let's go. Okay.
So they're not even children, they're just youngsters. They're people who have to prove themselves as, full members of the Verdans, basically.
Haven't taken their rite of passage yet.
Pretty much. So there is a rite of passage for everyone who wants to be a full-grown Verdan.
Okay.
And so they have obviously to prove that they have fully embraced the ways of the Verdan, and that they have brought something useful that helps everyone of the Verdans, of the people. Their people, right? So for example, a youngster who has learned the art of leathercraft and has crafted for all the members a hat or something, whatever, has shown, look, I have contributed, I have become a useful member of society.
Skill. Yeah, no, we like that. Yeah, you look at me, I am a tradesman, I have become an adult, I can do a job now. Right.
Pretty much.
We like that.
Also, I have positively contributed to the society.
Yeah, I do a thing now that does good for everybody else.
Pretty much. And if they have proven that, right, that is then their rite of passage. And in that point, they will be judged by the elders. And then they have this whole, basically, ritual where everyone embraces them as their, big adult thingy. It's a rite of passage. It's supposed to be all
a cool ceremony.
Cool, yeah.
We like that a lot because we like the culture building in this stuff. Of the Olek and his culture and the Harangon being built. We like it a lot. We like it a lot. So yeah.
And then if you notice, Verdan is never considered just like, they have to look this way or not look this way. It's all just about how do you think and how do you contribute to your society. It's very much mind-focused.
To be Verdan is similar as to being Roman.
And that is why, for example, the newcomers, both the dwarves and the Goran, are basically perfectly capable of becoming members of the Verdans
culture
without having to jump through hoops. They just become a Verdan like everyone else.
We like that. You just have to grow up. You have to do Verdan things.
You have to be a Verdan, by mind, at least.
We like it. We like it a lot. We can really dig it. It's like Rome. There are people who would come from like Germania and then be a gladiator for like 25 years, and your gladiator role was like to be a Saracen or whatever, to be some Middle Eastern guy, and then you would die a Roman, happy that you are in this enlightened cosmopolitan society. And we feel like Olek's definitely doing one of those deals.
Pretty much, yeah.
We like it.
And then the next one, that one's very hard to get to, which is step 4. Olek, is very, very focused on having his people live and thrive. So in order for you to be allowed to participate in the rules, what you have to do is you have to be a life giver. You have to bring new kiddo baby Verdans into the group, right?
You gotta be.
So you either have to
family.
save a stranger baby, or a stranger kid Verdan that you find somewhere, lost, whatever. Go to the Grey Lady and whatever. Find a lost Verdan, bring it to the tribe, whatever.
You gotta get kids of your own.
Kids of your own.
You gotta get kids of your own. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you have to obviously also take care of them and raise them.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can just reproduce like an idiot and then off you go. So you have
because obviously you're making a lawful good society, and deadbeat dads are not welcome in a lawful good society.
Nope. So if you have that, if you are basically a life giver, then you are allowed to vote for the elders. If there is an elder that is to be replaced because of old age, death, whatever, you can vote for the elder.
You have a reproductive democracy?
Pretty much.
That's fascinating. Okay. Interesting and fascinating.
It's not even just the
But you just have to have the one kid. That's one kid, and you get your vote. But you know, 3 kids, and you still only get 1 vote.
No, it's a matter of you would be. It's not about how many kids you have. It's about
Or just that you have kids.
Do you have and raise kids as a responsible caretaker in a sense?
Okay. Yeah. So 1 kid, 1 vote, but also like 15 kids, 1 vote. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, although the people who have 15 kids would very likely have much more impact, in example, for when it goes for elections and votes and stuff.
Right.
They would probably be the ones that people listen to the most. They would be the influencers because look what I have. You know.
Are you trying to compete with the Haringan? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because that would be a hard competition to win.
The focus about this is not so much the how many kids you get and so on. What the Verdan have to prove is that they are able to take care of the weakest in their groups.
We like that.
And they show that by having kids and taking care of their kids. They show that by saving kids and having that kid that they raised and so on.
That's super wholesome, and we love it.
And so it is all about, can I take care of the weak ones in my society? Can I protect them? Can I fend for them? That is why
lifting up the most vulnerable.
That is why they put the focus on that.
You know, as the literal creator of a culture, that's not a bad kind of culture to want to create.
I mean, Olek is just doing. You know, he has no plan. He's just doing. That's always what he does. But that's what he came up with.
And you know, that's how a surprising amount of cultures have been founded. Is some dude just was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this shit.
Yeah.
Look at Mongol culture.
Okay, give me just 2 seconds. I'll just go quickly check. I'll be right back.
Potato, potato, potato. Very exciting. Dong.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. No, we're just looking at things.
Yeah, so step 4 is being allowed to vote. You have to show that you're responsible and taking care of the weakest in your society. And if the captives, the former captives, reach that level, right? They save a Verdan kid, or whatever. At that point, they have shown that they are full members of society, and then they have a ritual of, how should I say that? Of forgetting, where basically they get the wax figurine back from Babushka, you know, for their former, you know, crimes and everything.
Yeah.
And they can toss it into the fire of cleansing, such that all the chaos that once has inhabited and tainted them and whatever just gets burned away, and all of their past is forgotten because now they're full members of society.
Nice. Okay. A ritual rebirth into Verdan society. We like that. That's cool.
So basically it is very hard to get to the point where the Verdan will absolutely forgive you for what you have done. But it is reachable. And that is important. It is like there is a path for you to be accepted in society fully as who you are.
Nice. So nobody is beyond redemption.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good. That is lawful good. Like, objectively. We love it.
And that's pretty much, you know, the setup. So definitely the dwarves and the Gorans, they're all pretty much taken care of.
Yeah, once they get to stage 4, they're in, because they've not performed any crimes to be forgotten, right? That's just for POWs.
Well, the 4 is where they can already vote. Like for them.
Oh, sorry, 5, right? It's 5 where.
No, 5 is the elders. No, step 4 would be, you are allowed to vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Step 4 is have kids, and for the Guran and the dwarves, they were never enemies, so that's where they're in, right? Like.
Well, yeah, but also, first they have to be adults, right? Even if they have family and kids, they still have to be first adults, so they have first to pass the rite of passage. But the thing is, right, you can be a Verdan who has never done any crime, and you're perfectly fine in stage 3. Everyone accepts you as just a Verdan.
Right, yeah.
You may not be allowed to vote. Especially
if they were born into the culture and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. You may not necessarily be allowed to vote, but no one cares about your former crimes because there are none. You just want to die.
So step 5 is not necessary because there are no former crimes.
Exactly. It's only, you wanting to actually like participate actively in the legislation or whatever, and show if you are a former criminal that you have redeemed yourself in a sense.
We like it. We love it, even. It's great culture, and we want to put that on the World Anvil at some point. This is excellent. Excellent content.
So that is the great plan of the Olek.
It is a great plan of the Olek. We're not sure how it's going to work in execution, but it's a great plan and hypothesis. We like it a lot. Yeah, very exciting.
It's also very much focused on positivity. It's like if you fail once, it's not like you're failing forever. You just try again. You try harder. You can try again.
We think the Verdan are a force for good in this world of crazy chaos.
Well, they're also very chaotic, but at least in their rules and in their methodology, they at least have it figured out somewhat.
Well, it's one of those. It's the perfect example of how order can spontaneously arise from chaos. Like these, they are individually very chaotic, but together they become extremely orderly and prepared and organized and structured.
Something that I have to add is the step where you are allowed to vote demands of you that if there is a war coming or something, you will defend your people.
Right. It's a well-structured militia, right?
Yeah. So as long as you are, still as counting as an adult, right? Where you are, you have passed the rite of passage. You
must be ready to defend your.
You should learn how to defend yourself. But as soon as you are allowed to vote, as soon as you're a life giver, it's basically treacherous of you to not defend your people.
Yeah, we see where you're going there. That's reasonable. All must serve, Swiss style. Once you're an adult, man, you should start learning. And once you got kids, once you're a family man, it's mandatory service, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's not even just the mandatory service. It's more a matter of, look, if you want to be able to take care of the weak ones, if you want to be able to show that you're caring for the weak ones, then you better take care for the weak ones properly, which means also fighting for them.
Yeah, definitely. So you're gonna create a highly structured, lawful good militia-based society. We dig it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we think that's pretty good here, unless you got anything specific to add.
Well, there's the one problem, which is how do you get the goblins who are currently defiant in prison to join that kind of system?
Well, that's something that happens over time. So, you've definitely laid down the groundwork, at least.
Yeah. No, I'm really curious to see how it works out.
It's pretty exciting. So, thanks to those who watched, and Iseth, feel free to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Have fun, everyone.
Thanks so much for coming, everybody.